My boyfriend stole my money to take another woman on vacation. When I confronted him, he rolled his eyes and said, "Relax, you'll get over it." His friends mocked me. She called me pathetic. But a few days later, he was screaming on my voicemail and begging me. Felix and I had been an item for over 3 years. We didn't live together officially, but he crashed at my place most nights. His apartment was a 40-minute drive from work, while mine was just a 15-minute stroll. We'd planned to move in together next year when my lease expired. At least, that was the plan. Financially, we were both middle of the road. We split bills when we went out, took turns buying groceries, and I thought we had a fair financial deal. For the past year and a half, I'd been squirreling away money for a security deposit and first month's rent on a better place for our future together. It wasn't a fortune, just about $2,800, but it was the fruit of countless small sacrifices. I packed my lunch instead of buying it, skipped my daily Starbucks fix, and took on extra weekend shifts whenever they were available. One Friday, I opened my banking app to transfer money for my car insurance. As soon as I saw the balance, I almost dropped my phone. Instead of the $2,800 plus it should have been, my savings account showed a measly $267. Panic set in. I immediately thought it was a mistake or that my account had been hacked. I called the bank in a frenzy. After answering security questions, the rep told me about a $2,550 withdrawal 3 days earlier. I hadn't made that withdrawal. When the rep asked if anyone else had access to my account, my heart sank. Felix knew my phone password and had seen me enter my banking app password. I thanked the rep and hung up, then checked the app's security features. The withdrawal was made in person at a branch across town, using my ID. I hadn't been to that branch in months. Felix must have swiped my driver's license from my wallet when I was in the shower or asleep. I tried calling Felix, but it went straight to voicemail. I texted him, asking where he was and if we could talk. He replied hours later, saying he was out with the guys and would be back tomorrow. Something felt off. I tossed and turned all night, desperately trying to come up with any explanation other than the obvious. Maybe there was an emergency he couldn't tell me about? Maybe he was planning a huge surprise? Deep down, I knew I was clutching at straws. The next morning, I rarely checked his Instagram, but I did it this time. His profile had nothing new, but when I looked at his friend Andy's stories, my world shattered. There was Felix, on a beach, with his arm around a girl I'd never seen before. The caption read, "Day 2 of vacation vibes with these lovebirds." I scrolled through more of Andy's stories and saw more pictures of Felix and this girl, Jasmine. According to the tags, they were at a Cancun resort that would cost about $2,500 for 2 people. I felt sick to my stomach. 3 years together, and he stole my money to take another woman on vacation. I sat on my bathroom floor for what seemed like ages, alternating between sobbing and feeling numb. When Felix finally came home on Sunday night, I was waiting. He walked in, tanned and smiling, acting like nothing was wrong. He dropped his duffel bag by the door and casually greeted me, trying to kiss me. I stepped back and confronted him about where he'd really been. At first, he stuck to his story about hanging out with the guys, but when I showed him Andy's Instagram stories, his whole demeanor changed. Not to shame, but to annoyance, as if I'd caught him in a tiny lie. He didn't even deny taking the money. He claimed it was a last-minute thing, that Jasmine had won tickets and needed someone to go with her. He said he'd pay me back eventually, as if that made it okay. When I pointed out he could barely cover his half of groceries most weeks, he got defensive. What really floored me was when he downplayed the theft, saying it wasn't like he'd taken my rent money. It was just sitting there. I reminded him it was our future apartment money I'd saved for over a year. He had the nerve to laugh and say we couldn't find anything decent for $2,800. When I asked if Jasmine was his girlfriend, he hesitated just long enough for me to know the truth, then denied it. He claimed she was just a friend, but we all know friends don't go on romantic beach vacations together. Throughout the confrontation, he was so dismissive. He grabbed a beer from the fridge, told me he didn't want to fight, acting like I was making a big deal out of nothing. When I called him out for stealing and cheating, he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Relax. You'll get over it." That's when I knew this wasn't a mistake. This was who he was. I told him to get out of my apartment. He tried to argue, saying his place was far away and he had work in the morning. I told him that was his problem. As he left, he muttered that I was being impossible. His parting shot was saying Jasmine wouldn't act like this. After he left, I collapsed on the couch, shaking. I spent the next 2 days in a daze. I blocked him after he sent texts accusing me of overreacting. I called out sick from work and barely ate. I kept checking my bank account, hoping the money would magically reappear. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to report the theft to the police, but we'd been together for 3 years. The thought of him getting arrested made me feel queasy. But then I remembered his dismissive face and felt a different kind of sick. I called the bank again. Since he had access to my ID and passwords, they said it was unauthorized use, not fraud. My best option was to pursue it as a civil matter. I changed all my passwords, opened a new bank account, and planned to change my locks. I wasn't sure if he'd try to come back, but I didn't know him anymore. A week after I kicked him out, I went back to work. My coworker noticed something was off. I told her the gist during lunch, and she was horrified. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Felix, texting from his friend Marissa's phone, saying we needed to talk. I didn't respond. An hour later, another text called me childish. I blocked Marissa's number. On Friday, my friend Carla invited me out for drinks. I was reluctant but agreed. We went to a downtown bar with trivia on Fridays. I was starting to feel almost normal, laughing at Carla's wild guesses. But when I came back from the bathroom, I froze. Felix was there with Andy, Maurice, and 3 other guys. They hadn't seen me yet. I told Carla we had to leave. But Andy spotted me and came over, wearing a smug smirk. He made loud comments about me crying over my piggy bank and how Felix had been moping because of my overreaction. I tried to stand my ground, but Andy just rolled his eyes. By then, Felix and the others had come over, blocking our path. Felix acted like we'd run into each other at the grocery store. He kept insisting I unblock him. Maurice and the others started snickering. Felix's defense was pathetic. He admitted taking the money without asking was wrong, but claimed it wasn't stealing because we were together. When I pointed out Andy's Instagram called them lovebirds, Andy mumbled it was a joke. Then Jasmine showed up. She asked if I was the one having a meltdown over a few dollars. When I explained he stole my savings, she called me pathetic. I corrected her it was $2,550, and she laughed even harder. I looked at Felix, waiting for him to defend me, but he just stared at the floor, smiling slightly. That's when I realized he'd told them everything and they'd been laughing at me. Carla announced we were leaving and pushed past Maurice. As we walked away, I heard more laughter and Jasmine saying, "Felix dodged a bullet." Outside, I started crying. Carla hugged me, ordered an Uber, and we went back to my place. She stayed over, and we ordered pizza and opened a bottle of wine. I vented to her, and she helped me block more numbers. The next morning, I got an Instagram DM from Jasmine. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity got the better of me. She confirmed they'd been seeing each other for months. Felix had told her we were basically broken up. I took a screenshot and blocked her. I showed Carla the message. We made a plan. I called my landlord, explained the situation, and they agreed to change the locks. I went to the bank, opened a new account, and changed all my passwords. Carla helped me gather Felix's things into a box. On Sunday, I woke up feeling different. I was angry. I cleaned my apartment from top to bottom, threw out things that reminded me of him, and rearranged furniture. It felt like reclaiming my space. I also made a budget to rebuild my savings. The next day, the locksmith changed my locks. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. At work, I had 3 missed calls from Felix. I listened to his voicemail. He sounded worried, saying Jasmine was spreading lies and he missed me. I deleted it. When I got home, there was $300 in cash and a note from him. Felix kept trying to contact me. He showed up at my workplace twice, sent flowers, and even had his mother call me. One morning, I found my car had a flat tire with a suspicious puncture. I was sure it was him. I went to Carla's place after work. We made a plan to get him out of my life for good. I called my landlord, explained the situation in detail, and she let me out of my lease early. I went to the bank, checked my credit report, and made an inventory of my apartment. I separated my things from Felix's and started packing. I contacted Felix's family and friends. His mother believed me and said she'd talk to him. My mutual friend August helped me. I found a new apartment, changed my number, and started moving. Just as we were finishing packing, I got a text saying Felix was on his way. We rushed to finish and managed to leave before he arrived. After I moved, Felix's life started to fall apart. Jasmine broke up with him, his parents cut him off financially, and most of our friends distanced themselves. He was struggling with rent. One day, I ran into Andy at the grocery store. He apologized for his behavior at the bar and said Felix had been acting strangely. When I got home, there was a package from Felix with $500 in cash and a letter. That night he called, slurring his words, begging for another chance. I refused and blocked his number. His voicemails turned from pleading to angry. His mother said they were getting him help. As of now, he hasn't contacted me again, but I'm still on guard. I'm not going back to him, not after everything.